someone can have an individual session with you
Mhm.
and work on past lives, and
Mhm.
are you able to see like specifics of past lives or
Yeah,
general? How does that work?
generally. So what typically happens with past lives is how I work with them is it's like not requested. So someone doesn't come to me saying, I have this past life issue, it's this, please deal. It's more like we're in the session and I'm like, I've hit a distortion. So remember, sorry, I'm going to backing up. Okay. Okay. So the way that frequency work works, I am not doing something to you. Okay. I am in response to your higher self. That's how it works. Okay. And to pure source. That's what's happening. So I'm always following priority on spirit level. Just because you physically request something, we're just going to use the UTF, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone's on the phone and they're requesting something from me.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to fulfill what it is that your mind asks for. I will do my best.
Sure.
But sometimes that's not the priority. Does that make sense?
You talk with the higher
Self, yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, we may get to that. And it's actually this. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean, but it's simply that the way I function is in the service to raising your frequency resonance, not necessarily getting you what you want, what you think you want. Okay? So a lot of people, what you think you want. Because a lot of people will think they want something, but when they rise up in frequency resonance, it's not as relevant anymore because their resonance has now risen and what was important to them no longer is. Make sense? Because they had a certain distortion pattern. So it changes everything. So what will happen is if we're working on something and it's something like they're having an issue, for example, with their partner, okay, and it's sticky, and we'll start working on the different distortion patterns, and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh my God, this is a past life distortion, right? So I don't say alternate lifetime because nobody knows what that is, but I'll say this is a past life distortion. It is happening in 5 lifetimes. It's this, this, and this. This is what happened in 3 of them. This is what happened in 2. This is how your relationship was. And I'm saying it very fast because I'm aware of what they are, but it's like, I don't dwell in a lot of them, right? I'm like, this is what happened, this is la. And so that is why you have this now. We're going to resolve it for all of them.
Right, let's move on.
Let's move on, right? So it's not about the story. The story isn't important. It's about releasing the distortion.
Yes.
Right? The story is simply our human, like a response to the distortion pattern, how do you know what I mean? In whatever way it showed up. But it's not, because some people can get really caught in the story. I'm like, don't get caught in the story.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the distortion so that you don't have it in this lifetime and you can resolve it in the other ones, and whatever happens, happens. Right? And it will just, everything will move up to the higher order. So that's how things, so it may be that people will say, I've noticed that I have this relationship with this person. Is that a past life thing? That has happened.
And you can do that.
And I can do that. And I'll be like,
cool.
Yeah, it is, or no, it's not. Actually, it's actually this. Okay, so that can help. But the best way is when it becomes organically, and I don't control it, again, right? Because it's not like I'm seeking this for you.
No.
It's just that I'm in response to whatever is being shown as priority at that moment.
Cool, very interesting.
Yeah.
Another little side note, I know people work with past lives, like you said, with other types of modalities. And I notice a lot of healers, if you want to call them that, out there, whether they're legit or not. It seems like everyone brings up past lives of like, oh, you were Caesar in the dead. I'm just like, how can every past life be some monument? Aren't there just normal lives where it's just like not anything big? Yeah. Okay.
I've actually, most of the past lives that we work with aren't anything like you or anybody.
Lives.
They're just ordinary lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing too is the challenge, and I'm not saying about this about all past life regression, because I certainly don't know every single past life regression tool or process or any modality. Okay, so I'm not suggesting it's everyone. But a lot of the limitation about that, about past life regression, is that you're trying to use this lifetime as this space-time resonance stamp to delete something that happened in a different space-time resonance stamp. And if you're not high enough in resonance to resolve it in both, it'll come back. Does that make sense? Because you're still having bleed through from this lifetime, the one in that other space-time resonance. It's not resolved. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
You're trying to use this lifetime to try and resolve this one, but you have to work above both of them, meaning in the eternal now, to be able to resolve them. Makes sense? You can't use this space-time resonance to resolve this one. You can to some degree, but it doesn't complete it necessarily. It can reduce it, but it doesn't necessarily completely release it.
And release
it. Okay? And like I said, I don't know every past life regression modalities.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that it's not possible. I'm just saying from what I can tell right now,
Okay.
that's part of the challenge with it.
Okay.